Hello and thank you for joining us on this Friday. I'm Mackailyn Johnson. Here's a look at some of the stories we're bringing you today. You've been waiting all summer. It's time to get ready for back to school shopping during Arkansas's tax-free weekend. Everything you need to be ready in 2 minutes.
The Senate is closer to voting on a major climate and health care bill. I'm Natalie Brand on Capitol Hill with the timing, plus a closer look at how Democrats say it would fight climate change.
And Cracker Barrel is changing up their menu. Why the new addition to the menu is leading to lots of arguments online. But first, the man we're all looking to right now, meteorologist Scott Covert. It's Friday, which means it's the weekend. What can we expect?
All eyes on that weekend forecast indeed. Warm outside. Temperatures around the natural state have quickly risen into the 80s and 90s. It's going to be a very steamy day, not only today, but again tomorrow and it's your Sunday. Here's where we're at around this. 90 in Little Rock, 91 in Conway and Russellville. Currently reporting a temperature of 86 in Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff saw a little bit of rain this morning. Most of us are dry at the moment, but if we take a closer look into parts of north central Arkansas near Marshall, Edwards Junction, we're starting to see a few of those pop-up showers. Another one just popped up in Batesville, fizzled out pretty quickly. We can expect some on and off isolated showers today. You may even hear a few rumbles of thunder. Otherwise, expect partly cloudy skies, a few peaks of sunshine out there in RVU 11 here this afternoon. It is going to be a warm and muggy day with a high temperature of 92 degrees. And given there's so much humidity, it's going to feel close like to 100. Tomorrow, temperatures gradually warming up into the middle 90s by Sunday. Your chance of rain this weekend doesn't appear too high. 20% tomorrow of a few isolated afternoon pop-up showers and storms. Even lesser of a chance on Sunday, which is great news if you're going to be out shopping, taking advantage of that tax-free weekend. Better chances of rain arriving next week. The details, timing, and how much you can expect coming right up.
Thanks, Scott. And like you said, we know many of you are getting ready for that first day of school, which is just right around the corner. Well, the Arkansas sales tax holiday is back to help ease the prices of those back to school supplies. On average, a family will spend more than $600 during back to school shopping. All retailers must participate in this sales tax holiday, meaning they cannot charge state or local taxes on items that are tax exempt. This includes online stores, clothing, school supplies, art supplies, and some electronic devices are a part of the tax exemption. Walmart is where a lot of back to school shopping will happen before the first day. And for that, the retail store has about 100 items that are less than $1, hoping that it will make it easier and more convenient for families.
They're ready to get back into the swing of things for school, and Walmart wants to be there to help them get ready. So especially coming into this weekend, we want to make sure that we're anywhere customers want to be when it comes to trying to make sure they're getting ready for the back to school season. Whether it's that 5-year-old getting ready for kindergarten or that 18-year-old getting ready for the first year of college, we want to make sure that we have everything that they both want and they need as well.
The Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration expects Arkansas shoppers to save more than $650,000 this weekend. Arkansas sales tax holiday begins at midnight tonight and ends at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Well, THV 11 is your election central. Today, early voting continues in 2 special elections in Pulaski County. After 4 days, the Pulaski County Election Commission reports more than 1,500 votes for Little Rock special election. That's a millage extension spread among 6 ballot questions. Across the river, nearly 500 people have shown up to vote on whether to continue a half-cent sales tax. Early voting is happening today and Monday before Election Day on Tuesday. Now we have a list of early voting locations and times on THV11.com. Now, in an update to a story we brought you Wednesday, petitioners have now filed a lawsuit against lawmakers after the recreational marijuana ballot title was denied certification for the upcoming election. Responsible Growth Arkansas has filed a lawsuit against the State Board of Election Commissioners after the ballot title was denied, despite receiving sufficient signatures from registered voters. The filing alleges that lawmakers made an incorrect rejection of the ballot title as it denied the wishes of hundreds of thousands thousands of Arkansans to have the opportunity to vote on the amendment. The proposal was reportedly denied over concerns that Responsible Growth Arkansas had insufficient background checks for dispensary owners or limits on THC. The monkeypox outbreak is now a public health emergency in the U.S. There are currently 6 cases here in Arkansas. Now, with an emergency declaration now official, what does that really mean? Evan Kozloff from our Verify team explains.
We spoke with James Hodge, a health law professor from Arizona State University, Megan McGinty, an epidemic and disaster response expert from Johns Hopkins University, and we looked at information from the Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response. A public health emergency declaration is made by the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Xavier Becerra in this case.
It would allow HHS to instantaneously do some things that it can't presently do quickly.
It enables Becerra to hire people, make grants, enter contracts, waive certain requirements, and access additional funds.
Usually during emergency declarations, like with opioids or things we've seen in the past, there actually would be a freestanding fund ready to be used for devoting to these purposes. We've been working to refill that fund post-COVID, and to my knowledge to date, it's not yet been refilled. In fact, Congress has been reticent to do it. Now, monkeypox may change its mind very quickly, but the sheer fact is the funds that normally would be there to the tune of millions of dollars simply may not be at this point in time.
It can also allow states and local jurisdictions to purchase general supplies at reduced cost. McGinty says there's also a symbolic value.
The act of making an emergency declaration calls attention to a problem and says this is of significance that we as a country need to be paying attention to this.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozloff.
New York State health officials are urging unvaccinated children and adults to get inoculated against polio. They say the virus has now been found in 7 different wastewater samples in 2 counties north of New York City, and so far only 1 person has tested positive for polio, one unvaccinated adult in Rockland County, New York, who suffered paralysis. That was the first U.S. case in nearly a decade, but based on earlier polio outbreaks, Health Commissioner Mary Bassett said there may be hundreds of other people who have been infected but have no symptoms yet. And COVID-19 continues to surge through Arkansas. This is the latest COVID levels map from the CDC. And as you can see here, much of Arkansas is still experiencing high transmission levels. If you're in one of the red counties, you are being advised to still wear a mask in public. But if you're in a yellow county, the CDC recommends high-risk people mask up. If you're one of the lucky ones in green, you're in the clear for the next week. Senate Democrats have reached a deal to move forward with a bill they say would reduce energy and health costs. The bill could get an initial vote as early as this weekend. Natalie Brand has more from Capitol Hill.
In a major step forward for Senate Democrats' climate and health care bill, Arizona's Kyrsten Sinema announced late Thursday that she's now on board. Sinema reached an agreement with the Senate Majority Leader to remove a tax provision that mainly impacted private equity and hedge fund managers. This paves the way for an initial vote on the bill as soon as this weekend. Democrats need to use a budget tool known as reconciliation to pass the bill with just a simple majority, since no Republican senators support the measure.
To Manchin and Sinema, I admire you at times and I oppose you now. And I think what you're doing is that you're empowering the most radical people in this country to tax and spend at a time we can ill afford it. You're making it harder to get out of recession that we're in. You're going to increase gas prices, not lower them. And I think they need to be held accountable, and I intend to do that.
Democrats argue the tax increases in their bill will reduce the deficit. It would also invest nearly $370 billion in energy and climate programs, with a goal of lowering energy costs and reducing emissions by 40% by 2030.
The Inflation Reduction Act will mean we're making the largest investment ever in clean energy and American energy security, largest in our history.
The legislation includes tax incentives to buy clean energy and investment to build it, as well as grants aimed at cleaner ports, forests, and coastal habitats. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The bill also allows Medicare to begin negotiating prescription drug prices, and it extends the tax credits for people buying insurance through the Affordable Care Act. Now in other news, the red-hot labor market is still going strong. Government data out today shows the U.S. added more than 500,000 jobs in July, and unemployment is at a 50-year low, holding off recession fears for now. But experts say this overall healthy jobs report also gives the Federal Reserve reason to continue its aggressive rate hikes this year.
We must see inflation come under control, and the Fed's tool of raising interest rates, it may be a blunt tool, but it's probably the best one we have.
Consumers are seeing some relief in the system. Mortgage rates dropped this week, and drivers have seen more than 50 days of lower gas prices. If you're fortunate enough to save some money, that's earning more interest in the bank too. Well, you won't believe this. Some countries are choosing to regulate the use of air conditioning. We'll explain why in 2 minutes. Scott, I don't think I could take that right now.
Not with temperatures like this. Look at this, up to 100 heat index value in Russellville and Hot Springs, sitting right at the 99 heat index value in Little Rock. It's steamy out there right now. What's the weekend look like though? I've got a full breakdown of what you can expect coming right up.